you've got to really want to play, because your fingers don't want to do what they're told. That's the first chord I learned. It's all downstrokes. And I just did that, and I did that, and I did that. It's a good job nobody had to listen to it. And you just got to do that an awful lot. A pick is actually the biggest amplifier that there is. But then, after a few years of doing that, I learned to finger pick because I started playing in folk places. You start doing this slow thumb and finger thing, and you're dribbling about, trying to make sense of it. The breakthrough really comes when you can get your thumb to play 4 beats to the bar on the bottom strings like this. And then your fingers are supposed to fit in with that, which is a clever trick if you can do it. It's like learning to water ski. I'm up, I'm down. But once you start to be able to pick a little tune out in a chord, get the rhythm going, and you can just hold a chord with the left hand, like a C chord there, and you can go, which sounds quite a lot, really. It's kind of impressive, considering the fact your left hand's not doing anything, it's just holding this chord. And then the idea is that you can go on developing that, and then maybe you pick out a little bit of a tune at the same time, so you're accompanying yourself. And so pretty soon you're starting to get quite rhythmic, and it gets so that you're playing a little bit more like a barrel house piano player or something. And it's almost like a piano with the left hand and right hand going all at once, and it's getting some rhythm to it. You're picking up single notes and playing chords as well. Finger and thumb are starting to play the notes. And you could do it much better with a pick. You can actually do it faster and louder with a pick, but I'd just be doing this with my finger and thumb. So everybody develops their own way of playing if you play enough. And finger and thumb sort of falling over each other. And I would write songs the way I write songs now, most of the time just on an acoustic guitar. But the first time I got a Fender Stratocaster, it was after I'd got Dire Straits going, and it was my lust object as a child. And when I heard the sound of it, when I wrote Sultans of Swing, for instance, I'd written it on an acoustic guitar, and it was different. The sound of the strings together and the tonality of the guitar made me want to write another way. This is an old Les Paul. It's a 58. Everything seemed to come right about this time. If you get to the end of a vocal and you've got nothing more to say, but maybe the guitar has, and you wanted something, maybe a richer sound, well, then I'd probably use something like this. So that thicker tone, with a Strata would be slightly different. With Sultans of Swing or something like that, you need a kind of a thinner sound, because a lot of the time I'm playing, I'm vibrating, say, 3 strings at once, And it's quite nice to have the little choir effect of the. I'm trying to make the things speak, but so I wanted to play a little bit of rhythm. So it's got a different, it's more of a gut bucket thing. The Gibson had sort of double strength, if you like, pickups. They're called humbucking pickups, and they enabled you to get a lot more power. There'd be more filth in the and overdrive in the sound. So it'd be. When I saw Buddy Waters playing, with the band, with his band, I was struck by just how low and level the thing was, but just how the thing was levitating and grooving. Half the time it's not really to do with volume at all. A lot of the great players didn't necessarily play so loud. One of the reasons why the guitar has figured big in jazz is that you don't necessarily have to play so hard with your right hand and hammer everything. You can kind of finger. When you're playing quick things, you're playing a lot of notes. Again, an electric guitar can articulate those notes more easily than the acoustic. And also it's very quick chordally. It's actually very easy. You can move between playing single notes and chords and little bits of chords and little drops and runs and all sorts of things. You can bend and you can move notes a little bit. You can play really complicated inversions and notes, and sometimes you bend two strings at once. And you're imitating other sounds that you might be imitating. I use a little pedal to swell a note in like it's being bowed. Or you can play chords, You can do it chordally, and you can do a little. It's really flexible and endless fun for young and old. In this case, old. Normally when I'd be at home, most of the time I'll play on an acoustic guitar because it's just such a beautiful, friendly thing. Great instrument for a songwriter. You just play them and they sound good. It's a friend to you all your life. Once you've, learned how to play a few chords, that's really all that you need. Most of the time when I'm at home, I'm just playing real simple chords and writing my songs. I'm really glad that I couldn't afford an amplifier. That was really good for me because with borrowing friends' acoustics, it took me into folk music. If I was writing a song like True Love Will Never Fade, I'd be going... And it would probably come from sitting with a flat top guitar like this. This thing is more about finger picking. This is a National steel guitar. One day I was playing around on this and came up with Romeo and Juliet just because of the nature of the guitar. I mean, you know, I could probably play it on that, and it would sound okay, but it wouldn't be quite the same as this delightfully vulgar piece of equipment. It's got the lovers on the back in a canoe too, isn't it? It's really, really. I've always thought of these things as being magical, in a way, you know, because they had a little resonator. It's like a speaker that's held down by the bridge, and funnily enough, it records really well. It's actually made it on a lot of records that I've made. This thing, it tends to come out a little bit somewhere between a guitar and a piano. And I always wanted to play steel ever since I heard it. So I got my dear old dad, and he got on his lathe and got him to make me a few of these pieces of tube so I could play. It's what they call slide guitar. You slide the metal over the strings. If you hit these things hard, they're loud. It's just really good fun playing around because it reminds me of a banjo sometimes. When you learn your first chords and you're going... That's a very basic kind of... That's your one chord. And here's your four chord. Then your five chord. The same chords in the B in a blues. It's the same chords, your one chord, and then the bit that would be that. It'd be the same thing. So it's the same. It's really all the same music. Once you start extemporizing on that and it becomes jazz, then you can start putting little interval chords in. And so it's the same chord and the same 1, 4, 5s or whatever, but you're just putting more things in. Some of those great players that work in the profession, they like when they get together, they like to play that kind of thing. It's not really my music, and it's not really something that I spend much time doing. And I'm much more likely myself to be doing this. That's my thing.